What's up? Welcome in. You're watching Eagles Now right here on Chat Sports. My name is Chase Sr. Coming your way on today's show. Going to take a look at the NFC playoff picture heading into the final week of the regular season, but also could the Philadelphia Eagles and Howie Roseman make a big splash and trade for DeAndre Hopkins this offseason? Now, we're talking about DeAndre Hopkins here because of this report from Johnny Venerable, and he reported this on Thursday that it's very possible Christmas Day against the Buccaneers was DeAndre Hopkins' last game as an Arizona Cardinal. Now, a lot of you are going to get into the comment section and be lazy with what you say and say it's clickbait, when in reality, it's not. Why? Because the Eagles have a general manager and a football executive in Howie Roseman who's always pushing the needle, who's always pushing the tempo, who's always trying to improve his football team and going full go in trying to do that. And in bringing in an expensive player like DeAndre Hopkins, he has also been shown to be a financial wizard with the cap. And with DeAndre Hopkins, great wide receiver. Can you imagine him alongside A.J. Brown as well as Devontae Smith playing for the Birds? That right there is a scary sight. And he actually gives the Eagles something that they don't necessarily have. While A.J. Brown has great size, as Trace pointed out the other day, and he's an athletic freak, he's not as much of a jump ball, climb the ladder type of wide receiver that Hopkins is. They both excel at those 50-50 catches, but Hopkins is just a different prototype. And he's been getting it done for a really long time. Now, he did get popped for PADs, a little bit of a concern there, but in 2019, 2020, as well as this year, even last year, he has been putting up stupid production. And I think that he's more of the player in his late 20s that we saw in 2019 and 2020, for him to still have 64 catches, 717 yards, considering the revolving door at that quarterback spot, is really impressive. And why Hopkins could get dealt. A couple of reasons here to simplify it all for you and inform you on what's going down in the desert with Arizona. Kyler Murray just got ACL surgery, successful surgery for him. Hopefully he has a speedy recovery, fun player when he's right. Cliff Kingsbury's future is uncertain. If you ask me right now, I think that Kingsbury gets fired on Black Monday, which is known to be the day of firings across the NFL after the final week of the regular season. Their general manager, head of football ops, Steve Keim, on medical leave of absence. So they have questions in the front office at head coach and at quarterback for at least next year. And Hopkins is pretty expensive, right? Cap hit of nearly $31 million. There is an out in 2023 with a dead cap charge of about $22.5 million. Now, I'll tell you this. If the Eagles make any big move this offseason, if there's any big report, rumor out there, we're going to cover it here on the show. Philadelphia Eagles Now is your go-to home for all things Eagles every single day. You have to be built different to have the level of dedication that we do to give you content on the daily basis. That's what we do. We're closing in on 40,000 subscribers. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button to support the show and stay in the know with all things Philadelphia Eagles. Now we pivot to the NFC playoff picture, playoff odds, playoff path for Philadelphia, as well as clinching scenarios. So heading into the final week, this is how things look. And it's crazy that the Eagles are in danger of losing this top seed in the NFC East crown. They're 13-3. They've already clinched a playoff spot, as we know. Nothing to worry about there. San Francisco 49ers won the NFC West. Last week, they overtook the Vikings for that 2 seed because they had the better NFC record. Vikings are frauds. They're at number 3. Buccaneers in that 4 slot because they won the NFC South. They are not going to move. The Dallas Cowboys could move with the win and an Eagles loss potentially. And then the wild card here. Giants have clinched a playoff spot, 9-6-1. And for Seattle, they're currently the number 7 seed, but they could be overtaken, as we're about to explain, by Detroit or Green Bay. For Philadelphia, very simple path, very simple scenario here. Week 18 against the Giants at Lincoln Financial Field. You clinch the NFC East with a win or a tie against the Giants, and you get the number 1 seed in the NFC. So home field advantage comes through Philadelphia by just winning the game or tying it. Or if the Cowboys lose or tie to Washington, who is going to start the rookie out of UNC, Sam Howell, that is the other pathway for the Eagles to lock up that top position. They do fall to the 5 seed with a loss and a Cowboys win. As for the Vikings, easy game this week against the Chicago Bears. Justin Fields is not going to start. There is no chance for Minnesota to get the number 1 seed, which is really just a message from the football gods that the Vikings ain't for real. They lost that game and got dominated by Green Bay last week, which is what dropped them to number 3. They can still move back up to get that 2 seed with a win and a 49ers loss to the Cardinals. Speaking of San Francisco, I think it's the team to beat in the NFC because they're playing the best right now. Philadelphia number 2 in my power rankings. Sorry, just being honest. Those are my thoughts. Week 18 at home against the Cardinals. They're going to be starting David Blau at quarterback. That is their 4th string and 4th option at quarterback for Arizona. So San Francisco should win the game. They clinch the number 1 seed with a win and a Philadelphia loss to the New York Giants. They clinch at least the number 2 seed with a win or a Vikings loss to the Chicago Bears, which could set up a very interesting first-round matchup between the 49ers and the Green Bay Packers. So if you think the Eagles are the best team in the NFC, I think the Niners are here, Eagles right behind them. I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video if you think the Birds are the best team in the NFC. Now, we are introducing a brand new sponsor here at Chat Sports. It is Fume. Let's tell you more about them, and you can find out more about them by heading to tryfume.com/chatsports to just get your life on track and trade out your bad habits. Be smart, don't start, kick the habit, put it out before it puts you out. Fume is a natural diffusive device that uses plants and behavioral science to help you trade out your negative habit for a positive one. I used to have a negative habit. I didn't work out a lot. Now, I have now run for 225 straight days. Fume is not a vape. It's a non-electric device designed to transform your negative habits. Instead of pods filled with potentially harmful chemicals like a vape, Fume uses cores infused with plants like peppermint and cinnamon for delicious natural flavors. Fume's new version 2 model is snappy and tactile with an adjustable airflow dial and a magnetic end cap. Your fingers will always have something to always do. It's Fume's goal to make switching easy and even enjoyable. They have thousands of 5-star reviews from people just like you who have successfully switched when other solutions just did not work. So head to tryfume.com/chatsports, promo code chatsports to save 10% off the Journey Pack. That's tryfum.com and use the code chatsports to save an additional 10% off. We've had a lot of fun rocking with Fume here over the last couple of days. You can too, and kick those bad habits in the process. That link in the comment section and the description of this video. We move forward with our NFC playoff picture. Tampa Bay Bucks, they beat the Carolina Panthers last week, and because of that, they have already won the NFC South Division. They're going to be the 4th seed. As I said earlier, they can't move up, they can't move down. They're right there. They will host the NFC East runner-up in the wild card game. So if the Eagles lose and the Cowboys win, Eagles have to go on the road to take on Tom Brady. Does that reek of disaster? Yes. You know what could be glorious? Cowboys going on the road and losing to Tom Brady in round 1 of the playoffs. And if that happens, you already know the movement. How about them Cowboys? Cowboys, Week 18 on the road against the Commanders. They clinch the NFC East with a win and an Eagles loss to the Giants. They get the number 1 seed with a win, an Eagles loss, and I think the Niners would have to lose as well. For the New York Giants, I think Brian Daboll is a Coach of the Year. The Coach of the Year award should not go to the coach who has his team playing the best football or a team that has the best record. It should go to the coach that brings the best out of that roster and maximizes that roster. That's what Brian Daboll has done with New York. This team sucked. They were a joke with Joe Judge. It's basically the same roster. They have no legitimate wide receivers, and they made it to the playoffs for the first time since, 2016? Week 18 on the road against the Eagles. It looks as though they're going to rest their starters. They've clinched that 6th seed, would currently travel to San Francisco right now. Seattle Seahawks, Week 18 against the Rams, clinch a playoff spot with a win, but also a Packers loss or a Packers tie to the Detroit Lions. A loss or a Packers win means that the Seattle Seahawks are eliminated. In the hunt, Green Bay Packers, Detroit Lions. Packers win, they're in the playoffs, and with the way that Aaron Rodgers and the Packers are playing right now, could be scary. The Lions do have an opportunity to get in, but they need to beat the Packers on the road at Lambeau Field and have the Seattle Seahawks lose to the Los Angeles Rams led by Baker Mayfield. Take a guess. Who will get the number 7 seed? I think it's going to be Green Bay, and that's what I'm going with. What do you think? Let us know down below in the comment section who will get the number 7 seed. As for the Packers' chances, even though Green Bay not currently in, heading into the final week, they make the playoffs by winning next week at home against Detroit. Lions' chances, they clinch that playoff spot with a win at the Packers and a Seahawks loss to the Rams, or if both games tie, which would be absolutely wonky. For the Washington Commanders, Ron Rivera played Carson Wentz last week over Taylor Heineke with a playoff spot on the line. That's a fireable offense, and Dan Snyder, one of the all-time frauds in the history of sports, they've been eliminated. And for the New Orleans Saints, eliminated as well. Sorry, Trey. Sorry, Abby. The Saints have been eliminated after the Bucs win against the Carolina Panthers. They just need a quarterback, and if they get a quarterback this offseason, that team could be in a very good spot in 2023 because that roster is pretty good. Dennis Allen, I know Trace hates him. Maybe they need a new coach as well. Notable matchups in Week 18. Lions at Packers, Giants at Eagles, Cowboys at Commanders, Rams at Seahawks. These are really the games in the NFC that have the most playoff implications. So with that, your Super Bowl matchup is what? You have the Birds playing in Glendale, Arizona for the Super Bowl? If that's the case, who are they going up against? Let us know in the comment section. Interested to see what you come up with.